Welcome back to this week's Real Country File. I'm still in that field of OSR that I've been in for the last few weeks, just showing you the progress. The flowers are really in bloom now. I would say it's probably 30% in flower, but hopefully it's going to flower for the next month or so. This week's episode, we'll see part 2 of Stephen at the Lancashire Dairy Farm. Angela is at the Five Nations Ploughing Championships in Shropshire, and also we're going to hear from Fenland Farming and Ventures of what they're up to on the fen. So let's go over to them.
Hey Fenlanders, welcome to the Real Country File. I'm Daniel and this is my sister Anna, and we are Fenland Farming Adventures. We've got a little 600-acre farm in the middle of Suffolk, or right on the west coast of Suffolk. Yeah, we're like the best potato farmers in the country. So
in the world, you like to think?
Yeah, in the world, And we just wanted to do a little bit for Ollie and the Real Country File. Everything seems to be struggling at the minute with the weather. We thought we'd just come on in and talk about how far back things are getting pushed, you know. So
yeah, we set up YouTube, didn't we?
Yeah.
Initially to show what farming is actually really like, because I think sometimes people get quite a misconceived conception or whatever you want to say, like of what farmers are, like what they do.
Yeah, we all ride around in a Range Rover.
That is it. Yeah. So, and that's obviously, as you know, most people know in the farming world, just isn't the case.
Yeah, I spend all my money on tractors, so.
And then breaking them.
Yeah, and then breaking them and then fixing them.
Yeah.
So we grow wheat, sugar beet, and potatoes here, and we put our potatoes into like really high end chip shops down on the south coast and stuff, and some in London and places like that. Real good quality chipping potatoes is what we do. So we're on fen soil here. We've got half of it's black and half of it's white. It's very odd how our land is. It was an old lake bed surrounding us, and then the edges of our land is black where the lake bed wasn't. So it's very odd. It's all seashells. It's all ground up seashells. So that's the kind of fields we're dealing with, soil type we're dealing with. Stuff actually looks quite good at the minute, considering it's non-stop raining, non-stop windy. So as soon as it rains, the wind then dries it out, but we can't get on the field. The crops are having plenty of moisture at the moment to push them forward, and they've had the fertiliser on. The only thing they're struggling with now is the weeds are starting to get hold. We're going to get the weed killer on the wheats and stuff, and sugar beet. It is time for us to be putting sugar beet in nearly. The Sandyland boys around us are getting real jumpy as well, because they're normally in the middle of March time, and even they're struggling to get their sugar beet in. So we're going to have a little crop walk and show you some of the wheats and show you some of the bare fields we've got.
See you guys in a bit.
See you in a minute. This is our soil type. As you can see, I don't know whether the camera will pick it up, it's lovely rich soil, and you can probably see some of the flecks of seashell in the clods. When you break it open, all these little white flecks are all seashells, and this is what our land basically consists of. It's marshland. 100,000 years ago this was all underwater, a big lake bed across here. And this is what we deal with. So it's nice and fluffy, nice and soft, and no heavy ground in it whatsoever. So people call it boys' land. Compared to some of the stuff I'm sure you lot watching a farming is easy going. I don't wear my plough points out in 10 years. So every 10 years I might change the points around on my plough. So so this is basically our wheat crop, drilled quite late actually, because of issues on farm we had in November. So we kind of got put back with our drilling dates to the middle of February with this. And as you can see, as you look across the field, you can see where the green and then the yellow bits are. The crop is now needing some nutrition. It's had its fertiliser, but that's not enough, you know. I need to get my manganese, magnesium, copper mixes on. This will have a weed killer a bit later, but we want to get it growing first. All about nutrition with wheat. You can keep it from going yellow, like you can see it's streaky through there. This was drilled mid-February into mustard stubble, straight into mustard stubble. So, with the rain and stuff and the wind we keep having, there's no real good spraying days. So, first good spraying day I get is going to have some nutrition before it gets anything else. So, this is us, this is our soil, and these are our crops.
Thanks for that, Daniel and Anna. Now we'll see more from them next week. Anyway, last week Stephen was at Alistair Parkinson's farm in Lancashire at his dairy farm. He's back this week talking about inputs. So let's go and see that report.
Okay, so we're at back end of March now. Are we thinking end of April for first cut, or
Earliest we've ever gone is 7th of May.
right? Okay,
And I can't see it being any earlier than that this year. Just where the grass, purely because we haven't actually got any fertiliser on grass on yet, because we were going to do,
right.
and then the heavens opened and
right.
the fields are pretty soggy right now, so we're staying out of them for the time being.
Just let it be for now.
Yeah.
In terms of your slurry, I noticed driving in that since I last came, you've had a bit of investment in that part of the farm.
We have, yeah. We've been looking at it for a few years. Slurry on this farm's always been an issue. We've only, for the last 5 years, we've only had a month's storage through the winter, which isn't adequate. So end of last winter, we bit the bullet and we ordered a 860,000 gallon concrete slurry store. So with that and the existing store, that takes us just over 1 million gallons of storage, which is adequate for the red tractor people that say you've got to have 6 months of clear storage for your slurry.
And it didn't look like any of the others that I'd seen. It looked slightly different. Is it not a common farm brand, or?
It's not one that they haven't done a lot on farms of this company. I've dealt with water utility companies in the past, and they have just moved into the ag side over the last 2 years. So they've a few up and down the country, but not that many. But they are growing. They're a growing business. They are hoping to put more up on the ag side.
How were they to deal with?
Very good. Yeah, very good.
We better give them a shout out then if they were any good.
It was Air Consult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So they did a good job, and it looks well.
Yeah, it's very professionally made, and the groundworks team that came to erect it they know the stuff, and it all went smoothly.
I'm interested to know your thoughts, and I have known you a while, and we can be candid. Budget this month, and Farmers Guardian reporting that no mention of agriculture and food in the budget. How do you feel about that? As a food producer in England and Lancs?
Not exactly surprised.
No,
you know, we've always been we're always last to the dinner table, aren't we? As far as the government's concerned, you'd have thought by now, with the way that food imports are going, etc., they might just be learning that they need a British farmer, but they don't seem to have got that message through yet, do they?
No. Does it fill you with any hope that?
It doesn't inspire me with confidence, if I'm honest. No.
Right.
Obviously, you know, they're changing the way that the government pay farms these days. It's going to be far more on environmentally based systems, which I kind of get. I understand that. There's been too many years where it's just been purely on an acreage basis. But I can't see how we're going to feed a nation by planting massive, great big forests and rewilding areas. Yes, it's good for birds, etc., but there is room to do commercial farming and look after the countryside and wildlife within that parameter without losing thousands and thousands of acres of perfectly good production farmland to back to nature, should we say.
Have you got areas on the farm that actually you could kind of put back if pushed? Do you know what I mean? Like every field's not going to be top.
No,
have
that's
you got
right.
Some bits where actually that corner would be better off. And
there was 10 years ago now. There was a corner up when we got towards Ellswick. It was a headland of a field that had lots of jutted, cornered bits. It was a wet corner of the field anyway, and we just fenced a whole lot off. And it's that section that has gone back to nature. It's now sprouting its own volunteer trees, and yeah, it's a haven of wildlife and bird life up there through the summer.
It's a story that I hear a lot, that before being given money from government to do that, farmers actually just did that as part of managing.
Yeah, we didn't get any money for it. We weren't expecting any money for it.
No.
We did it for on a twofold. We did it for environmental reasons and for our own management reasons as well. So, in
terms of your outlook, then, you know, a lot of cows you're milking, costs that you're getting, the money that you're getting in cost dropping a little bit. Are you staying at the same kind of level of litrage? Have you got a constant? I mean, who do you supply to?
Our milk goes to Julie at Garsang, so it all goes into cheese. And 2 days a week of that's then kosher cheese.
Okay.
Going into the Israeli rabbi market.
Yeah.
And we don't have any plans to expand we're pretty much landlocked with our buildings where we're at here.
Okay.
So we couldn't really expand even if we wanted to. But I don't see a need to.
What about other way?
To expand.
No, to maybe get a bit smaller, or.
Well, if you can't get some staff, then yeah.
Okay. All right. So staffing's an issue at the minute.
Staff is a massive issue. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Staff is a massive issue these days. Good lads seem hard to find. But all lasses.
Yeah.
There isn't the same. I don't know. There doesn't seem the same commitment as was when I was their age, shall I say?
A day or two ago.
Yeah.
We're off to my school in a few weeks to interview some students at the college and catch up with them. If you had a message for maybe the lecturers rather than the students at agricultural colleges, what would you say to them?
Inspire them, get them excited about what they want to do in life. Because there is good careers out in agriculture for young people. You just need some more inspiration, I think.
Okay. So light that candle, get them revved up.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Well, Alistair, I really appreciate your time. I know you're mega busy. You've a lot on, no staff. So thanks, mate. And we'll maybe just come along and catch up with you when it isn't just quite as wet. Is that all right?
That's fine. No problem at all. Always welcome.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks for that, Stephen and Alistair. Now, Angela this week has been at the 5 Nations Ploughing Championships in Shropshire. So let's just see what was happening up there.
It's the Whitchurch Young Farmers Ploughing Match today, which is a 5 Nations qualifying competition. But this site is so big, we have to be scurried around in a tractor and trailer. So I'm here now with David, who's come all the way from Northern Ireland. So David, whereabouts is it that you're actually from?
I'm from Macrofelt in Northern Ireland, just in the centre of Northern Ireland, close to Knockney. So we came over on the boat, on the Birkenhead boat there a couple of days ago, and we had a practice day. First day was a practice day, and yesterday there was a competition yesterday. This is the second day now of the competition.
So tell us a bit more about your tractor, and I believe it's your son that's ploughing today.
Yes, well, this is my tractor. The young lad is ploughing here today. He's qualified to come here, and he has done a lot of preparations for this here. This tractor plough, we brought it over from, this was my outfit whenever I was ploughing, competition ploughing. Now I've moved it on to my son, and he seems to be happy enough to carry on with it at the moment.
So tell us a bit more about the plough that you've got on the back of it.
That plough is about 1975 is the age of that plough. But it's not the age of the plough, it's the way the plough is equipped and looked after and cared over the years. This plough has won the world 3 times. And she also was runner-up twice in the world, that plough. It's a wee bit more, just something special about that plough, you know. People get attached to those sort of things, and that was wonderful.
So for somebody that's never been to a ploughing match before, it's not just a case of putting the plough in the field and just going as straight as possible. There's so many different aspects that people are judged on, aren't they?
Yes.
So can you just give us a flavour of what the judges are looking for?
There's about 12 different aspects. What they done first there was a split opening, which means then you just turn the furrows out below, and then you turn that back in. Now they're making a crown at the moment. And whenever they turn that crown back in, they try to keep it as level as possible. And whenever they keep that as level, then they can plough away. It's to keep the field better for cultivating the field when it's level. Then they plough right across to their neighbour, and then they come in to make a finish. But they have to be absolutely 100% parallel, and they have to alter the plough through the plot to make sure they come in 100% square. You have 3 hours to plough your plot. You think that may be a long time, the size of the plots, but the standard of ploughing now is you have to have it 100% right, and you have to take all the care in the world to try and make it as good as possible.
Well, best of luck to you and your son out there, and fingers crossed we get a good result that you want at the end of the day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
These events are a great place to do a lot of business as well, and so Tom has just sold a tractor, New Holland, to Swains drainage. So Tom, just tell us a bit about this tractor. What man is it?
It's a T6 180 dynamic command. She's pretty well fully loaded with the Super Glide suspension for the cab, which we are starting to fit to them. We took over New Holland in November, and it's going really well, to be fair. So, Josh.
Thank you very much. Mainly going to be used with a blade on the front to follow up after a trenching machine for putting land drains in, and on the gravel cart for putting stone in the trenches that we put the drains after we put the drains in. So that's its main job, but it'll also get used on a dump trailer a bit, and just a bit of all-round sort of work, drain jetting and that sort of thing. So that's why we've had the full spec, because it's a bit versatile for everything then, isn't it?
So we've had a look at the vintage ploughing section, and now we're moving on to the modern machinery, and I'm on the RVWQ trade stand here with Liam. So Liam, what are you focusing on showing people today?
So we're here with the new Series 7S 210 Massey Ferguson, along with the Sumo Trio on the back there, and the ever popular 724 Vario Gen 6, the much upgraded cab, which is proving very popular with customers new and old, along with the Badestad Carrier 500.
And you've got a Sumo Day coming up soon, I believe. When's that?
Yes, so on the 13th of April, we've got product specialists coming in to speak to customers about the whole Sumo range.
So could we have a look at the Sumo machinery that you've got behind
you?
here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look.
Now, there's been a lot of interest, I know, on this subsoiler. So just give us a few pointers. What are the features on this?
We've got the Trio 2.5 metres obviously wide. We've got the auto hydraulic reset on the subsoiler legs.
So for anyone that's not seen a subsoiler before, just tell us what it does and when you would actually use it.
So we're wanting to break up any compaction in the soil from other operations during the year, after the harvest, pre-drilling. So we've got the subsoiler legs, which break the compaction deep down into the soil, and then we've got the discs, which will bury the trash and leave a good seed bed in preparation for the new seed bed, and obviously the packer roller there on the back.
So Sarah and Olivia, you've been involved in organising today's ploughing match, so how's it gone overall?
It's gone well. We had 140 ploughmen entered. They've come from all over the country.
Olivia, I believe you've got a tractor run coming up that you're organising as well.
It's on the 8th of April, starting at Withymoor Farm, £10 including a burger, and we're going around North Shropshire, North Wales and a bit of Cheshire. And we're raising money for the Lyngdon Davis Cancer and Hope House Kids.
Thanks, Angela. Now, before she left the site, she met up with a 13-year-old, so we're continuing the theme of what your favourite tractor is and why. Let's hear from him.
So I'm here with James now, who's been ploughing today. So James, tell us a bit about this tractor that you've been ploughing with.
It's a New Holland T7 210. It's 2022 model. It's got a range command gearbox, and that's about it really. And GPS.
So for my favourite tractor is Slot that we have every week. What good points would you say about this?
Well, it's easy to drive. I like driving it. The GPS is good and easy to operate, and it just looks good in general. And when we were ploughing today, it was the only tractor which would get across the plot without spinning, so that was quite good, really.
And if you had to pick one negative thing about it, what would you say?
I'd probably have to go with the mud guards being a bit too small, because it gets quite a lot of mud everywhere, and that'd be it, I think.
Very good. And how do you think you've done in the ploughing competition today? Are you pleased with your performance?
I'm happy with it. I could have done better, I think, but I could have done worse as well, I suppose. But the plot was quite wet and a bit uneven, so it's quite hard for everyone, I guess.
That's about all for this week. Thanks to everyone that's took part in it. If anyone wants to send anything in, let us know. You can always send them to vids@therealcountryfile.co.uk. There's a link below every one of the episodes. Hope you've watched it. If you've made it this far, click like. That'll be really great. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if anyone's got any ideas of what you want us to cover, please do get in touch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next Sunday.